So the question that's going to be answered here tonight, is it going to be Jimmy White in his 19th appearance here, or is it going to be Alan McManus, twice a semi-finalist? The situation as we left you was 5-all to McManus and White, McManus having taken the opening frame of the night. There it is right now, just one frame in it. Alan McManus on 8, Jimmy White on 7. The next frame has just begun, and the commentators, Dennis Taylor and Ray Edmonds. It's been a dramatic day. I think we could be in for a dramatic night.
Well, the drama is certainly here, David. The snooker is not perhaps of the highest quality that we expect from these two, but that is really understandable, both under tremendous tension. Jimmy in particular seems pretty strained, but he made a brilliant 72 break to get back within one frame.
Six.
But if he can knock this one in, he's got a bit of a chance, Alan McManus.
7.
Alan McManus didn't want to leave that difficult red along
40.
the top cushion. It was quite easy to play for that, but decided to play for the red to the left center. He's got a bit of an angle on the blue. I don't know whether he can screw straight into the pink. He may have to go off a couple of cushions. And maybe this time play for that red that's near the top cushion. Just depends on the angle. He might be able to force it into them. Well, it's not that bad.
20.
Well, he's just got the slightest of angles here, so he can play with lots of topspin and left-hand side and exaggerate the angle of the cue ball. Not quite full enough. Great attempt, though.
Alan McManus, 26.
Jimmy White is a very popular player, and the Crucible Theatre have certainly enjoyed what they've been seeing here this evening. He spotted the shot to nothing. I think Alan thought it was a possible plant there. was never going to be easy, but he's left the cue ball a long way short. And this is a chance for Jimmy. Well, he may just leave the black alone. It's very awkward cueing. Try and get the cue ball tight. Ball cushion.
Yellow ball. Jimmy White one.
Certainly this shot's not easy. If he comes thin off the red that's nearest that left corner pocket, he's got to get the contact absolutely right. Got to try and avoid it wobbling in the jaws of the pocket. And that's a splendid shot. He's done well to get it that far down the table.
Looks as if it's worked out okay. I don't think the red pots into the right corner. I'm just wondering if he could screw onto the yellow. You could get a snooker behind the blue, and it's a bit risky, that one, but he did have a look at it. Wrong choice of shot, maybe.
Yes, I thought that was very surprising, Dennis. He had an easy safety shot back towards the brown and green off the red in the centre of the table. Absolutely no need to risk leaving this opening.
Before he plays the next shot, I'll ask you, what does it take to make you understand that the worst thing you can do is shout out when the play's playing?
And John Williams
Using common sense, please.
just telling the crowd, quite rightly, I think one or two of them getting excited. And it's not so bad in between shots, but when the player is down, it is obviously very off-putting.
Yeah, because it's not doing Jimmy any favours. I know they're very keen to see him doing well, but it tends to put him off as well as his opponent. And maybe that's just an indication of it there. He's lost a bit of concentration and didn't play a good positional shot.
Well,
Well, That's another example. Jimmy's position of play hasn't been its usual high standard tonight. He's lost control of the cue ball on many occasions, and that makes the pot
Jimmy White,
more
12.
difficult. But again, he's covered the red that he missed, and he's left Allen with an awkward shot.
That's a terrific shot from Alan McManus. He's covered the path through to the red that's near the left corner. There's a possibility that Jimmy could snick the one in. What about that for a pot? No colour available, but good chance to tie things up for Alan McManus.
Jimmy White, 1.
Well, the obvious target for Alan McManus is the 3 reds grouped together behind the black.
I don't know if he can see enough of the cushion. He'd have to get a terrific amount of side on it to get to those 3 from the side cushion. Maybe playing something slightly different.
Foul and a miss. Jimmy White, 4. Back.
Yes, it's a funny angle this. Alan was trying to go the other side of the pocket, and he might be able to make it onto the red. It's immediately behind the black.
Yes, he's telling John Williams just that he could definitely get below the pocket because he's just played it. So they're all agreed, as ever.
So it's this side of the pocket he's trying to get to. Oh, he hit the knuckle that time.
Foul and a miss. Jimmy White, 4.
And Jimmy may not take the miss because that red is on.
I think Jimmy's probably wise there because the cue ball was going to run into the black. Would have been difficult to get position, but Alan's been just wrong twice. Now, if he can get it in the middle of where he aimed, he should be okay.
A bit more too.
Well, I don't know, as I say, whether he can get to the 3 reds or whether he'll come off the top cushion and get the one just behind the black.
Foul and a miss. Jimmy White, 4.
I'm not just sure, Ray, if the angle's there because he's getting as close to the middle pocket as he can. So change of plan this time. And that's a good shot.
McManus 4.
Well, the balls are situated that badly now that having to try and force good position. Both players hitting them slightly wrong. It's not done too much damage.
Now this red that Alan's playing off will be heading back towards the black, and it may go in the corner pocket. Safety shot's what he's playing. Always a chance that you can pull that shot off. He's fairly close to the cushion with the cue ball. The brown would be the one that would give him a chance to get back to the reds, but it's a very difficult shot. And he'd have to move something, so not easy. Just getting the 4 points. And maybe a similar type shot from the other side of the table off the red next to the pink. No, straightforward safety shot.
Alan McManus 5.
Now Alan can come off the red that's just above and to the right of the black, but he's going to have to hit it a little bit thicker than he would really like to miss the black. But a near perfect shot, as well as he could have played it. For Alan now, but just to he can hit the red, just get past the pink and leave the cue ball very close to the red. He's not going to leave a chance.
Jimmy is looking at this red to see if he could cut it back in the pocket. You have a look at the angle, but it's a very difficult one because the white is so close to the red. But knowing Jimmy White, he'll have a go at it maybe. Excitement mounts. But you would have to say that that was a little bit careless from Alan McManus to leave that possible shot on there.
No doubt about that, Dennis. And Jimmy's got the angle to go into the reds here if he wants. Or can he drop on one?
6.
Well, I don't think those two reds are in a direct line for the right corner. Looks as if he'll be having a go, but he'll be taking the cue ball well away from the trouble area.
Jimmy White 6.
Well, I do believe that Jimmy may have left this red. I think he's having an anxious look himself. Alan McManus might just be able to get past the pink to snick this one in.
One.
Well, it's long odds that he's going to nominate green this time, but it's not as easy as it might be. They're so close. Referee John Williams had a look to see if they were touching. Obviously they're not, and that would make his task easy.
He's got to be so careful that he doesn't push this, so he may go over behind the brown and yellow. It was a tricky one to try and just get in behind the green, and he hasn't got the snooker. That was all Jimmy could do, but he's left an opportunity for Alan to go right round the angles and in behind the yellow, green and brown.
Well, Jimmy can hit the edge, as you see, of the red to the left of that line of three, but if he played with any pace, almost certainly he'd push one over the corner pocket. And trying to catch the other one, having to swerve it.
Foul and a miss. Alan McManus 4.
But what he did do there before he played the shot, Ray, he let John Williams have a look to see where the cue ball was, because he's having to bend it around the green a little bit, so he couldn't play off the red direct. I'm sure Jimmy will make sure that it goes back in the same spot. One of the best sports in the game, Jimmy White.
The danger is a thick contact.
But now we've got fun and games, because he could hit the other reds direct, and John Williams will have to warn Jimmy.
Let him play. Can you get him out, please?
Yeah, there's one spectator just spoiling things at the moment. Crowds at the Crucible Theatre are always fantastic, but there's just one supporter there that's upsetting everyone.
Okay.
In fact, I think both players have decided to leave the arena until we get that one supporter sorted out.
Well, you know the reason why they both walked out there, and as John Parrott, a veteran of the Crucible, will tell you, that's all you need, John.
Yeah, I mean, there's always one or two, I suppose, but I think they'll go up and escort the gentleman out and tell him not to come back.
It's very difficult, because people do get wound up and everything else. John Williams is a bit of a strict schoolmaster, has made a couple of efforts, but in the end, just got to do something about it, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm glad he wasn't in my school. He frightens the life out of me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But he, you know, they're doing the right thing. Go and get him removed, and then they can get on. I mean, Jimmy, unfortunately, does tend to get the odd undesirable in there, because you know, he's a people's champion. They all want to see him play, and unfortunately,
Even the other players have stopped over there. That's Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, and Leo Fernandez, the qualifier, where Ronnie O'Sullivan is leading 6 frames to 2. That's the first half of the match. They got one more to play here, and they don't carry on until tomorrow, and the winner of that match will play Joe Perry, who's the man who knocked out Steve Davis. Bringing into perspective this match between Alan McManus and Jimmy White, It was 5-4 to Jimmy as we started out here tonight, and then McManus took the first one at 5-all, and you're now seeing the way it's gone, sort of frame for frame. So looking down into the auditorium here now, the security are making every effort, and quite right, the players have decided, till you sort it out, we're not coming back to play. John Williams looking across, there's a smile on his face. I think we should be all right. If you've only just come in and been involved in watching other things, it has of course been the day where Stephen Hendry has come through 10-8 over Paul Hunter and moves into the second round, something he didn't do last year when of course he was beaten by the man who's waiting to come back to play here, Jimmy White. But Steve Davis has gone out, and in comes Alan McManus. Twice the semi-finalist here. Quite remarkable really that I think he's 9-3 down in all-time matches against Jimmy White. And here comes Jimmy. Difficult here, John Parrott, to get your mind back on it again after an enforced exit like that.
Yeah, and the other thing he's got to get his mind back on is he's got to hit the reds here, I think. He's had 2 goes already. I don't know what... He looks like he can hit one down. He's having a look now, and he's got to hit one of these, because if he doesn't, he loses the frame. So he's not only got to concentrate on the disturbance, he's now got to hit a red.
All yours, Ray Edmonds.
Yes, he could clearly hit reds, as you saw, and it's such a finely balanced match at the moment, David, that Jimmy was desperately trying not to split those reds up, but forced to do so. And a good pot from Alan McManus could put him in prime position here, but the cue ball has gone a little bit awkward.
It's a very good pot on the red, but the cue ball's back near the cushion again, and the next one's just as difficult. The black he won't bother with because it's almost straight, even though it's close to the pocket.
Green ball.
Maybe just a safety shot.
Alan McManus won.
Well, I think it'll just go past the blue to the middle. So this is a great chance for Alan. If he can knock this in, almost sure to be on black or pink.
Jimmy bows his head. He knows the importance of that shot. Played it as a shot to nothing, but had it have gone in, the green was sitting over the other corner pocket there, and it would have been a great chance. I'm not sure what way Alan will play this. He's got a chance to screw in behind the green, or he might just try to leave it tight on that baulk cushion.
Well, he's left a tempter for Jimmy, but the situation of the cue ball This really does want remarkable cueing. But he's got away with it. But he might be behind the green this time. But there's no question that the tension is now into both players. They're both really on edge. And they want a nice easy pot to start with, just to calm the nerves.
Needs quite a thin contact. He doesn't want to bring the red out into play. Be heading back towards the green. He's left another tempter for Jimmy White, the one next to the black. It's a possible pot. It's a very difficult one, but Jimmy will take it on.
Well, it'll cut. He hasn't got away with it this time.
One.
Well, I think he could have finished worse with the cue ball, but not a lot. He can perhaps get through to the green, but blue and black are out of commission from that position. So many times you see players of this caliber make the game look so easy, but just at the moment it's extremely hard work for both.
Yes, Ray, it may be hard work for both players, but it's very exciting for everyone else. And Alan will have a go at this one. It's a shot to nothing. It's a type of shot that he's usually very good at. Got a pretty good cue ball though.
got to be careful he doesn't get this too thin and run into that other red, or too thick and bring the red down towards the middle of the table. And he's judged it well.
Well, up goes the screen, and the players have got the whole arena to themselves. I'm just wondering if Alan McManus will take a shot on here. He pulled one off in the previous frame. Red double across the table, back down. Not far away.
Some pretty good safety play being played by both players. I don't think Alan can get a thin enough edge on this, on the right of this red, to get the cue ball back down the other end, so he may have to double it up and down and leave the cue ball in this left-hand corner. Can't quite see how much he can hit of it.
Well, Jimmy, have a go at this red. He can snick it into the corner. No problem about position if he gets the pot. Just look where the black is. Got to be careful with the white though. If he does take it on, it'll be running towards the right centre pocket. White had have ran another few inches, he would have taken the green. That was the one that would have enabled him to move the red.
If we have to sort you out one by one, we will. Now do something about it, please, before he plays the shot again. Out. Come on.
Well, there's another spectator. We did get the culprit removed. Jimmy's smiling about it, but the audience at the Crucible Theatre are superb, but all you need is one, or as John Parrott said, just two to disturb things.
Eight.
Blocking the right-hand side cushion. The pink is blocking the route to the red. And with it being so close to the cushion, the cue ball, it's not too easy to swerve. If it was a couple of inches away from the cushion, you'd fancy Alan strongly to do it, but it's awkward. And it's not a very big target, the red, being tight on the cushion.
Foul and a miss. Jimmy White 4.
Well, Alan's playing it with pace, so he's relying on a little bit of good fortune if he does manage to make contact with the red.
Foul and a miss. Jimmy White 4.
I think the angle's somewhere along the line. That was the problem with playing it with pace. He was never going to be sure what the red was going to do.
And the difference now just 1 point. And that's just gone astray a little.
Always let that one run away a bit too far, and he still needs the brown and the blue. And this frame has been going now for just over 41 minutes. Is this man going to win it and just need one for victory? Or is Jimmy White going to knock this brown in? It's a tough one. This could level the scores.
The crowd know the significance of that one. Oh, maybe the significance was that one, and it's going over this corner pocket. Well, Jimmy, what have you done?
Jimmy White 12.
That's amazing, Ray. Put all the concentration into the difficult brown with the rest, and then he got down and missed a straightforward blue. He can't believe it.
Fine.
What a significant shot the one on the blue might turn out to be.
18 on the frame.
There's cheers for Alan McManus, but the crowd will be thinking that Jimmy White should and could have levelled it. He didn't. It's the Scot who's 1 frame away from the second round at 9-7.
You're watching that as John Pyatt and I are, and John, I mean, the work on the brown, a great shot.
Fantastic. He's overrun the green, left himself this, and this is a horrible shot into a blind pocket. You can't see the angle properly. And we all know he's great with the rest, but that really is a tremendous shot.
And he was there.
Yeah, and he's, he's obviously, you would fancy him 9 times out of 10 to knock this blue in. He hasn't rushed it, I think. He's just taking his time about it, but he knew the significance of this. This was, a lot more pressure on it than you think. He didn't hit it very good because he's obviously screwed the cue ball back quite a bit. It was basically he just needed to stun it in. So he hasn't hit it great. And they're the types of things that they're presents that you're not going to let go if you're Alan McManus.
A little bounce, David McManus, and the frame to 9-7. And I wonder how many times we've seen Jimmy do the hard work and miss the other ball. It's happened quite often.
And he's got a very hard task ahead of him now.
17th frame.
Certainly going to have to go up a few gears.
Can't lose anything now.
Well, Jimmy has normally got a superb match temperament, but he has looked on edge on a few occasions this evening. But I'm convinced Alan McManus had gone back to his... I was sat in his chair preparing for 8 all and couldn't believe his luck. But I think he might have just had another bit of luck. Jimmy can comfortably get through to the red to the left, but can't do much with it, I don't think. Oh, we did. So easy to get the double kiss. And the red that's near the corner pocket is no good to Alan McManus, really. Unless he plays a very good shot to get back towards the blue.
Jimmy White 4.
He won't be too bothered about this. He was just rolling the red in and hoping to play a safety shot, but with the white going in, he's left everything fairly safe. Bit of an edgy one from Jimmy, a long way short of pace, and there's a shot to nothing here for Alan. He can take this red on and get between black and the red. Well, he didn't quite get between the black and red.
1.
But he's in a bit of a hole here. Not even sure if he can get between the two reds to hit the pink. Might be able to make contact with the pink, but what's he going to do with it?
Alan McManus 1.
I think the cue ball's come further down than Alan would have liked, but it's finished tight on the cushion. But I do believe Jimmy has got a chance of a pot. The one to the left of the black is on. Good shot.
blue ball.
Well, that's just a bit of tension.
Jimmy White 1.
He knew the importance of that shot. He normally would knock this type of pot in, but he knows that he can't make many mistakes now. Alan McManus, one of the best match players in the game, and he was always going to make it tough for Jimmy White.
Seven.
Perhaps helped Alan's cause, the pink not going on its own spot. The red that's virtually on the spot will go past the blue, and this is a pretty good chance.
Eight.
The only problem with potting the blue is it'll go close to the pink there. It will still be available, but the pink will be tied up.
$13.
And I'm afraid with all those interruptions, that person in the crowd's got a lot to answer for. We've overrun our time. Sorry about that. A long way to go in this frame, but we will come back after Newsnight as McManus pots the red there to go 15-5 after Newsnight with the finish at 11:25.